Hi everyone, in today's video we will be discussing the English articles and also the. So I know that you have heard of these words before many times, maybe in the English movie that you watch or maybe in the song that you listen to, but do you know how to use it correctly? So today we're going to look into all the rules that should be applied before using the English articles. Okay, so first thing first, when to use a and also the. How to know which one to use? So to know when to use a, and, or the, you have to look at the noun that comes after it. So if you remember, we learned about nouns in the first chapter, kata nama. So basically you just look at the noun here and then you will decide whether to use a, and, or the. There are two types of English articles. The first one is definite and the second one is indefinite. So the definite article is the article the, and the indefinite articles are a and also an. So let's start with the definite article, which is the article the. Whenever we want to use the, you have to make sure that the noun is a specific noun. And number two, whenever you are talking about the noun, it should already be known to the listener. For example, when we are talking, there's a speaker and there's a listener. So whenever I talk about something that you already know, then I can use the article the. Okay, for example, do you remember the man we were talking about last night? So I use the man here. Why? Because number one, this is a specific noun. If I were talking to you about someone last night, of course it's a specific person. I'm not just talking about any man in general. So because it's specific, we use the. And secondly, it is already known to you by today. Because if I say, do you remember the man we were talking about last night? We've already talked about him last night. So of course you remember, of course you know who this man is. So that is why we use the. So for indefinite article, it is actually the opposite. The first one, it should be a non-specific noun. And the second one, unknown to the listener, which means we've never talked about this person before. And also, it is used differently if the noun starts with a vowel compared to if a noun starts with non-vowel. If you guys still remember, in school, we learned that vowels are alphabet A, E, I, or U. So whenever the word starts with A, E, I, or U, which means it starts with a vowel. If it starts with a vowel, you have to use the article N. Okay, look at the example here. I need to buy an umbrella. This umbrella here is a non-specific noun. I just said we need to buy an umbrella. I didn't say we need to buy a Coach umbrella, for example, the brand Coach. And it is also unknown to the listener. When I say I need to buy an umbrella, you don't even know which umbrella I'm talking about. Maybe I like this pink umbrella at 7E. So because it is unknown to the listener, we're going to use the indefinite article a or an. But now we have to use an. Why? Because it starts with a vowel, which is U. Now look at example for the non-vowel here. We use the article a. A man is the head of the family. So right now this is a non-specific noun because I say a man is the head of the family. I'm not talking about any specific man. It's just a man. It could be my father, it could be your husband. So a man is the head of the family. And it is also unknown to the listener because when I say this, do you know who I'm talking about? You don't know. I'm just talking about a man in general. So I hope you understand the difference between definite and also indefinite article. So here are the 6 rules to follow. If you follow all these rules, you will not have any trouble in using a, and the anymore. Rule number 1, singular versus plural. Basically, singular means one, plural means more than one. Okay, so for one, whenever you're talking about an item in singular, you use a strawberry, satu strawberry. But if there are more strawberries, we're gonna use the. But if the noun here starts with a vowel, you shouldn't use a, you should use an. For example, an umbrella, the umbrellas. Rule number 2, specific versus non-specific noun. So we've discussed this just now, so let's just look into it again. So whenever we are talking about specific noun, you have to use the article the. That was the guy we met yesterday. So it is a specific guy, laki yang kita jumpa semalam. So that's why we're going to use the. But if we're talking about a non-specific noun, for example, I saw a guy at a canteen today. You have to use a. So it is non-specific. I saw a guy at the canteen today. So it could be any guy. So it's not Arif or Ali. I just saw a guy at the canteen today because it is a guy in general. So you have to use a. Rule number 3, when a noun is unique and there is only one of that noun at one time, always use the. For example, we only have one Prime Minister at one time, so the Prime Minister of Malaysia. If the Prime Minister if he was to come here and visit us at the college, I would say the Prime Minister has arrived. I will never say a Prime Minister has arrived because there's only one Prime Minister at one time. And whenever that noun is unique and there is only one of that noun at one time, you always have to use the. Look at the example here, the Eiffel Tower. There's only one Eiffel Tower, it's in Paris, so that's why we use the. The sun, there's only one sun. So think of other example of noun that there's only one of that noun and we have to use the. The earth, the moon, the KLCC, the Burj Khalifa, and so on. Rule number 4, whenever you are talking about the order of number, always use the. The first time, the second guy, the third day. So if you guys know the order of number, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and so on, you always have to use the. Okay, rule number 5, when there is an association in two phrases or two sentences, always use the. Associations mean hubungan. Let's look at the example here. A car got into an accident, but the driver survived. When I say the driver survived, you already associated this driver with the car that got into an accident. So that's why we use the. Because when I say these two phrases here, automatically you know that we are talking about the driver of this car that got into an accident. So whenever there is an association, always use the. The last rule, which is the 6th rule, when you are talking about uncountable noun, we learned this in the first chapter. Noun yang tidak boleh dikira, always use the. Look at the example there. The information is available at the counter. The knowledge gathered during the course is valuable. The love that I have for you is endless. So whenever we use uncountable nouns, things that we cannot count, always use the. Try to do this exercise here. Make sure you guys use and apply all the 6 rules that we learned today. Number 1, are you coming to the party next Saturday? The answer is the, because the party is a specific noun. For example, this party is hosted by our friend named Aini. So it is a specific party, Aini's party. So that's why, because it's a specific noun, so we are going to use the. Now remember the first slide, I say that whenever you want to choose whether to use a, an, or the, you have to look at the noun that comes after it. So always look at the noun that comes after it. Okay, number 2, the answer is the. Why? Because look at the noun here. First, remember the order of number, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on. So whenever you are talking about the order of number, always use the. Number 3, the answer is an. Ahmad is an engineer. Why? Because look at the noun here, engineer starts with the vowel E. So we use an. Okay, number 4, the answer is the. I watched the video you had sent me. Why? Because it's a specific video. So when you say, I watched the video you had sent me, as the listener, I already know which video you are talking about. So first is a specific video, Second, already known to the listener. That's why we use the. A dog was seen attacking a cat, however, the cat survived. This is rule number 5. Association. There is an association between these two phrases here. When I say a dog was seen attacking a cat, however, the cat survived. Automatically, you know that I was talking about the cat that was attacked by a dog. So that's why we use the, because there is an association between these two phrases here. The last one, the answer is the emotion that I felt while watching the movie is intense. Why? Because of rule number 6. Emotion is an uncountable noun because we cannot count it. Whenever you use an uncountable noun, always use the.
So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this class and you learned a lot from it. If you have any question, you can always email me at sarah@cybernetics.edu.my, or you can also send in your question on GC. I'll talk to you in the next chapter. Bye!